Alright, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to be giving every team's best Summer League player. Summer League just wrapped up a couple days ago with the Miami Heat winning it all, and I'm going to go through every team and talk about my favorite or the best player from every Summer League team here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. I mentioned the last few videos, but in case you missed it, we did just reach 700 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys a whole lot. We're on the road now to 800 up next. Thank you guys for the views, and the videos and the shorts. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really upset a lot. Join the membership if you want to learn more about the membership. There's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So we'll get right into it, starting with the Atlanta Hawks. We have Keaton Wallace. Keaton Wallace, he's the older brother of Cason Wallace. He's been around playing G League and stuff for a little while. He was the Hawks' best player, led the team in scoring, assists, and steals per game, and three-point percentage, finishing averaging a little bit under 15 points per game, with 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and over 2 steals while shooting 48% for the field, 43% from 3, 58% for the free throw line. And he was awarded with a two-way contract. So shout out to Keaton Wallace. He got on a two-way contract now with the Atlanta Hawks. He was their best player, a lot of ball handling, kind of a combo guard, I guess. Really good scorer. Of course, passing the ball defensively, he's really locked in. He's got very similar play style to Cason. And it's just nice to see that he's a guy that, been around for a little while and finally gets awarded with a two-way contract, and we'll see how he does. But yeah, Keaton Wallace gave the best player for the Hawks. Unfortunately, it was not Zachary Versace. He didn't have an amazing showing. He wasn't bad. Didn't have an amazing showing, though, and he only played in 2 games. But Keaton Wallace gets the one for the Atlanta Hawks. For the Boston Celtics, go with Neemias Queta. This is kind of I guess I would say obvious one. He has been around the league for a little while. He's been in the league for about, I want to say like maybe 3 or 4 years. This is his second year in Boston. He's on the team last year. He got awarded this offseason with a full contract instead of a two-way. And yeah, he led the team in scoring, rebounding, blocks, and field goal percentage. He averaged 21 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks while shooting 64% from the field, 83% from the free throw line. He only played in 2 games. He's just being a monster down low. Just being an experienced big man in Summer League is just like one of the best things to be, because he was just out there rebounding the ball, scoring everything in the paint, blocking shots, just being a good player all around for Boston. Now, honestly, he could maybe even see some regular minutes next season with Kristaps Porzingis maybe being out for a little while to start the season. Maybe with this good Summer League showing, he can come out and maybe have a rotation spot early next season. For the Brooklyn Nets, Jalen Wilson, he was the Summer League MVP this year. Finished leading the team in scoring, averaging just under 22 points per game with 4 rebounds and assists. Shot 47% from the field, 55% from 3, 89% from the free throw line. He was amazing. He was really good. He had some amazing performances in Summer League. I think players like him just have an advantage in Summer League. He was a 4-year player at Kansas, one of the better players at Kansas. I think he's going to have his number retired by Kansas. Last year, he had a pretty solid showing as well. Just an experienced guy, that's been around the college game, and now he gets a year in the NBA where he actually was decent last year. Like, it's no surprise to me, at least, that he's going off in Summer League. Credit to him for winning Summer League MVP. And now with the Brooklyn Nets kind of being in rebuild mode, Jalen Wilson, with this performance, maybe could get a regular spot in the rotation next year. Last year, he had some moments, in the regular season where he was okay. So maybe he can actually get a spot in the rotation next year for the Brooklyn Nets. For the Charlotte Hornets, going Matt Morgan. Now, I wanted to go Brandon Miller, but he only played 1 game, and I didn't want to put just 1 game on. Brandon Miller looked really good in that 1 game. I went with Matt Morgan, though. Matt Morgan averaged a little bit under 18 points per game, 2 rebounds. He shot 61% from the field, 56% from 3. He had a game where he had 36 points on 11 for 11 shooting. He's a 26-year-old. He's playing overseas for a little while, got to the Hornets, and it was really, really good. Really efficient. You could tell he was a pro player, just got to his spots, knew he can get to his spots and make shot. I mean, he shot 60%, 56% from the field and from 3. So, he looked like a professional scorer. And maybe with this, surgence in Summer League, he could potentially get a training camp spot somewhere. Who knows? But credit to Matt Morgan. But yeah, Brandon Miller was one I wanted to put, but just couldn't really find it. Tejan Stallone, their 6th overall pick was solid. He has some decent moments. Nick Smith Jr. also has some pretty solid moments as well. But I went with Mac Morgan. For the Chicago Bulls, going with DJ Stewart. Stewart led the team in scoring and assists. He averaged almost 17.5 points per game with 3 rebounds, almost 6.5 assists, and almost 1.5 steals, while shooting 47% from the field, 40% from three, 86% from the free throw line. And he was also awarded with a 2-way contract from the Bulls. So, yeah, big credit to him. He's a guy, I think he was on a 2-way contract before with the Boston Celtics, I want to say, like last year, the year before that. He's been around. I know the name. But to see him kind of perform with the Chicago Bulls and be able to get it 2-way was very nice. Very aggressive point guard, getting to the paint, scoring, very efficient as well. Just had a really good summer league. Montas Zealous, their 11th pick, also had a really good summer league. Wasn't really efficient, but he showed a lot of great things in summer league as well. Julian Phillips also had some decent moments, but DJ Stewart wins the best player for me. For the Cavaliers, going with Jalen Tyson, the first time on here that we have a first-round pick from a team getting the best player on the team. But Jalen Tyson was really good for the Cavaliers, led the team in rebounds and assists per game, averaged almost 15.5 points with 7 rebounds, almost 4.5 assists, and almost 1.5 steals, while shooting 58% from the field, 40% from three, 91% from the free throw line. Really like what I saw. Really like what I saw from Jalen Tyson. Coming in and being kind of the Swiss Army knife, kind of whatever you ask me to do, I'm going to do it. That's the type of player I expected that he was at California. That's what I expected his role to be in the NBA, and he came out right away in summer league and showed that. Even if he wasn't the leading scorer or anything like that, he was rebounding the ball. He was making plays for others. He was defending well. When he got his open shots, he was making them. He was really, really good. Really excited. And as a Cavs fan personally, I'm very excited. I love the Jalen Tyson pick. I loved it in the moment, and I'm loving it even more now. And he probably, I honestly think with his skill set, he should be a rotational player for us to start the season. I really think he should. I really think he has a skill set that we don't really have on the team yet. So very excited for Jalen Tyson. For the Dallas Mavericks, going with AJ Lawson. AJ Lawson, he was a guy on the team last year during the finals run. Didn't really play, but he was on the team and coming out of summer league and being a veteran. That's what he was. Averaged 18 points per game, 5 rebounds, over almost 1.5 assists, and over a steal, while shooting 47% from the field. Just doing really good things. He's a very explosive athlete, so he's doing that very well. It wasn't a great 3-point shooting, only shot 28% from 3, but he was taking really good shots and just being an energy guy. That's what he is. He's just an energy guy that can hit some big shots and make some big plays once in a while, and that's what he did out there. And yeah, I don't know if he's going to get a rotation spot next year, but he's a very solid player to have on the bench. For the Denver Nuggets, going with Julian Strawther. You guys know, if you've been around the channel for the past year or whatever, you know how big of a fan I am. Julian Strawther. At the draft process, with the draft pick for the Nuggets from last year's summer league to the last year's preseason, I've been a big fan of Julian Strawther and keep saying that I think he's going to be a very impactful player. And for the Nuggets so far in the summer league, he was amazing. He led the summer league in scoring, averaged 20.5 points per game, with 4 rebounds, also led the team with 3 assists per game with a steal, while shooting 42% from the field, and shot 40% from 3 on 11 attempts, which is insane. But Julian Strawther looked like a second-year player. Second-year players in summer league are supposed to look a step ahead of everyone else, and Julian Strawther was that and more. He looked a step ahead of everybody else. He was absolutely dominant in the 2 games he played. He was absolutely amazing. And I really do personally think Julian Strawther will be a good rotational player next year for the Denver Nuggets. I feel like he has the really good game to complement them as a shooter, knows his role, upperclassman in college as well. So I just feel like he's going to be a big part of the Nuggets next season. And for him have the showing in summer league makes me even more confident in that. For the Detroit Pistons, going with Ron Holland, their number 5 overall pick. Again, finally, a first-round pick being really, really good for summer league. Ron Holland showed some things in summer league. Led the team in scoring, averaging a little bit under 19 points per game. Also doing a little bit of everything. He averaged 6.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, and a block while shooting 40% from the field. Not the most efficient shooting, only 40% from the field, 23% from 3, 65% for the free throw line. But in summer league, honestly, I don't think efficiency really matters. Or numbers don't really matter. It's just how they look. And Ron Holland, I really like what I saw from Ron Holland on the court. I liked his energy he was playing with. I liked the aggressiveness. He was trying to get to the basket, not just settling for a lot of jumpers. He's trying to get to the basket, use the athleticism and speed that he has to get to the rim. He was doing that. He was making his impact the game everywhere else. And then defensively, a steal and a block per game, rebounding the ball, just showing a lot of energy. And I really liked that he came out early and was really, really good in summer league for Detroit. Bobby Clement also was really good for Detroit, what I saw from him. I like what I saw from him as well. I feel like he could be a really good rotational player next year for the Pistons as well. But Ron Holland, I think, was amazing. For the Warriors, got Brandon Pajemski. Again, second-year players, supposed to be a step ahead, especially if you were one of the better rookies. And Brandon Pajemski was that. He only played in 2 games, but in those 2 games, he was absolutely amazing. He led the team in points, rebounds, assists, and three-point shooting. He averaged 18.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 1.5 steals, shooting 50% from the field, 50% from three, 85% from the free throw line. Yeah, not really much to say except for he was really, really good. He was doing what he should have done in Summer League, which is play a game or two, look like the best player on the court, and call it a night, and that's what he did. Also, shout out to Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox also had a really solid Summer League for Golden State, but Brandon Pajemski was the guy. For the Houston Rockets, Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd was a very fun player to watch in Summer League. Reed led the team in scoring, assists, steals, and blocks. He averaged 20 points per game, with almost 5 rebounds, over 5 assists, almost 3 steals, and over a block per game, while shooting 50% from the field. Didn't shoot the best percentage from 3, only 27%, but I like the threes he was taking. I like the things he was doing, and he was showing what he's going to be. A really good role player and a connecting piece, as a guard, with maybe a little bit more potential than that. Who knows? But, like, Reed Shepherd was really, really good. He was out there making plays for others, locking in defensively. He was taking shots that I like to see, being aggressive at when he had to, making plays for others when he had to. Like, I really love what I saw from Reed Shepherd out there. I think it was the perfect pick in that draft, and I still believe after Summer League, even more confident that he's going to really fit in Houston. He's going to be a really, really good player. For the Indiana Pacers, you have Jarace Walker, their second-year player. He was the 7th or 8th overall pick last year. Didn't really get to see a lot of time in his rookie year because the Pacers were a lot better than expected, and they got Pascal Siakam. But he showed out in Summer League. Led the team in points, assists, blocks, and three-point percentage. He averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, almost 5 assists with a steal and a block, shooting 42% from the field and 45% from 3. He was their guy in Summer League. I mean, he was putting the ball on the floor, getting to the mid-range, being a bucket getter, while also making plays and pass for others, while also being really good defensively. He was just everywhere on the court, and it showed that he deserves a chance next year in the league. Now, with the Pacers, it's really tough because they have Pascal, they have Obi Toppin, they have Miles Turner. They just have a lot kind of going on in the positions that Jarace would be in. So I don't really know if he's realistically going to get a chance unless injuries happen. But I think Jarace Walker is going to be a really, really good player. I liked him a lot coming out of the draft, and showing that Summer League, he showed that he deserves some time somewhere. So hopefully he does get some minutes next season. For the Clippers, going with Jordan Miller. Jordan Miller was really, really good. Was honestly a surprising star at Summer League. He was, I forgot what pick exactly was. I think he was in the 50s. Pick last year in the draft from the Clippers out of Miami, and I was a big fan of him coming out of the draft. And last year the Clippers didn't really get a lot of time, obviously, but after the Summer League, maybe he could. He led the team in scoring, steals, and blocks. He averaged over 25 points per game, with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, over a steal, and a little bit under a block per game, shooting 55% from the field, 60% from 3, which led the team as well, and 80% from the free throw line. He was absolutely phenomenal in his games, being a really good role player, which is what I think he can be. I think he could be a Swiss Army knife type of player. When he was scoring, when he was shooting from 3 on catch and shoot, creating for himself, getting to the basket, he was doing that. Defensively, he was really solid as well, doing a lot of things. And now with this breakout in the Summer League, maybe he could crack a rotation spot next year for the Clippers, with the Clippers kind of being in a weird spot where they have Kawhi and James Harden, but after that, they have just a lot of young players there. So maybe Jordan Miller, especially him being an upperclassman, maybe could get a shot next year for the Clippers. For the Lakers, going with Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht, we knew in the moment he was a steal, and he proved that even more in Summer League. Led the team in scoring, averaging over 21 points per game, with 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and over 1.5 steals, while shooting 41% from the field and 39% from 3. Being a bucket getter. That's what he was at Tennessee, and that's what he did in Summer League. Shooting the 3 ball very well, scoring really well, just letting the game kind of come to him, it felt like, making the right plays. I think he's going to be a rotational player next year for the LA Lakers. I think that he could, and with this Summer League performance, I think it puts it even more in place that he should be a rotational player next year for the Lakers. For the Grizzlies, this is a very tough one, but I'm going with Scottie Pippen Jr. It was either him or G.G. Jackson first for me, and I went with Scottie Pippen Jr. ultimately. Pippen had an amazing Summer League, made All Summer League first team. He averaged 21.5 points, 5 rebounds, almost 9 assists, and over 3 steals per game, while shooting 46% from the field, 32% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. He had a triple-double as well in the games in Summer League, just looking like a very veteran guard. He's been around for a little while with the Lakers, now with the Grizzlies, and he looked like it in Summer League, just being a really good point guard, making the right plays, making plays for everyone else. Defensively, he was pickpocketing everybody, and scoring was very solid as well. And Meow, maybe he could be the actual maybe backup point guard for the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, off the top of my head, I don't really think they have a backup PG right now. So maybe Scottie Pippen Jr. could actually be a rotational player next year for the Grizzlies. Of course, he was last year, but again, that was because everybody was hurt and they were just signing whoever they could. So maybe Scottie Pippen Jr. with the summer league play, if he can continue this into training camp, could be an actual player on this team. For the Miami Heat, the champions, Wemahami Jaquez, he played in 2 games, and in those 2 games, he looked like the best player on the court, no doubt. Averaged 26 points per game with 8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals. He shot 58% from the field, 43% from 3. Just being dominant out there, really. I mean, not much more to say. When he finished top 4 in Rookie of the Year voting, come back to Summer League, he did what he was supposed to do. But the Miami Heat in general just had a really good Summer League. I mean, Kel'el Ware, if you watch my draft video, you might know I wasn't the biggest fan of the Kel'el Ware pick for the Heat, but it kind of proven me wrong a little bit in Summer League. He was absolutely amazing. He also made All Summer League first team. Like, Kel'el Ware was really good. Josh Christopher, who I was a big fan of coming out of the draft back when he was drafted out of Arizona State, Houston, I thought he was going to be really good. Fortunately, things didn't really work out, but he had an amazing Summer League. He won Summer League Finals MVP, so maybe that gets him a chance back in the league. Pelle Larsson has some good moments. Like, the Heat in general just had a really, really good and fun Summer League year. For the Milwaukee Bucks, going with Chris Livingston. Chris Livingston was the last pick of the draft last season out of Kentucky. I didn't really get a lot of time last year with the Bucks, but this year in Summer League, he was really good. Led the team in scoring and rebounding. He averaged almost 15 points with over 8.5 rebounds with 2 assists, shooting 53% from the field and 43% from 3. Looked really solid out there, doing what second-year players do in Summer League, being really, really good. I like the shots he was taking. I like that he wasn't really forcing it all the time as well. So that's really solid. Can he be a rotational spot next year for the Bucks? I don't really know. I wouldn't bet on it. But I mean, the Bucks do need some forward play and some young forwards and some youngness on the team. So maybe Chris Livingston can get some minutes. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, going with Leonard Miller. Leonard Miller was our early second-round pick last year out of the G League, ignited by Minnesota. Didn't get much time his rookie season, but now maybe this year he could. Led the team in scoring and rebounding. Averaged 16 points, over 8 rebounds, almost 2 assists, almost 2 steals, and a block. Shooting 50% from the field, 30% from 3. Looked very solid out there. Pick and roll, pick and pop situations looked really good. Defensively, he was really good. Just a very unique player, Leonard Miller. As a 4 that can do a lot of things. He can make the right passes. He runs the floor really well. Defensively, he can be very versatile. He can pick and pop. Like, he can do a lot of different things. And now maybe Leonard Miller could be a rotational player next year. Maybe he just needed a year to kind of figure it out, being the G League and stuff. And now maybe this year, after the Summer League, if he can take this into training camp, he can be in the rotation next year for Minnesota, having another young, versatile defensive 4. I wouldn't bet on it because the Timberwolves are trying to win, but he looks solid. But the Timberwolves also have really good players in Summer League overall. Him, Josh Minot showed some things. Rob Dillingham, even though he didn't have a great scoring Summer League, did a lot of things playmaking-wise. Terrence Shannon Jr. looked really good. So Minnesota, I really like watching Minnesota Summer League. They had some really good things going on. For the Pelicans, going with Jordan Ford. Jordan Ford was one of the better players last year in the Summer League for the Kings, got awarded with a 2-way contract. And now with the Pelicans, he was really, really good. Led the team in scoring and assists. Averaged 15 points, 3 rebounds, over 3.5 assists. He shot 53% from the field, 44% from 3, 100% from the free throw line. Jordan Ford was really, really good. He's a really good, just veteran point guard. And I think he deserves to be on a 2-way contract somewhere. He got it last year with Sacramento. And maybe do it again after this really nice Summer League showing as well. Maybe get to stick around for a little while longer. For the Knicks, going with Dwayne Washington Jr. Dwayne Washington's been around the league before. He was at Ohio State. He was really, really good. He's been around the league. Played with the Pacers, I think the Suns. He was on the Knicks last year. So he's a veteran in this. He led the team in scoring, averaging almost 15 points per game with 2 rebounds and assists. He shot 41% from the field, 36% from 3, 86% from the free throw line. Just a very explosive scoring little guard is what Dwayne Washington Jr. is. So if that's what he did, he's probably going to get another 2-way contract somewhere on another team. If he's not already on the Knicks still, I think he might still be on the Knicks. But yeah, but for the Knicks, they have some good things as well. I like Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek, their second-round pick out of Marquette, did some really nice things as well. I considered him, but ultimately I went with Dwayne Washington. For the Thunder, going with Adam Flagler. The Thunder had some really nice things going on in Summer League. They're a team I really watched, but Adam Flagler was their guy. He led the team in scoring, averaging 21.5 points per game with 1.5 rebounds and assists. He shot 50% from the field, 55% from three, which led the team as well on 75% shooting from the free throw line. Flagler was a late, I think, two-way contract last year for OKC out of Baylor, and he played really good in summer league in Salt Lake City and in Vegas. He was shooting the lights out. He looked like an actual NBA player out there. He looked like an actual NBA player. Do I count on him to be an actual rotational player next year for the Thunder? No, because the Thunder have a lot of things going on. But having a guy like him who is another really good marksman from three and is going to compete defensively, like, why not just have a lot of guys like that? But the Thunder has some really good things overall. They had him. Dylan Jones was one of my favorite players to watch in Summer League as well. AJ Mitchell, their second round pick out of UC Santa Barbara, was really, really good as well. So Thunder had a really fun Summer League. For the Magic, going with Jett Howard. He was a lottery pick last year from Orlando. Didn't really get time last season. And this summer league, he looked really good. Averaged 19 points per game, which led the team with a rebound and 3 assists. He shot 50% from the field, 47% from three. He was really, really good. Just a big shooter. That's what he is. I think he's 6'7", 6'8". Just a big shooter. And the Magic, of course, one of their biggest weaknesses is their three-point shooting. And they addressed that a little bit this offseason. But after Jett Howard's, summer league performance, maybe he can get some time next year. Just being a guy that can get a couple minutes a game, just go out there and shoot the three ball. That's what he's going to do. So maybe if he can take this into training camp, the Magic can find a spot for him next year, even though the Magic do have a lot of really good players on their roster. The 76ers, going with Ricky Council the fourth. He was a two-way contract last year. Played himself into getting a regular deal in the summer league. He played really good as well. Led the team in scoring and steals per game. He averaged almost 19 points per game with 5 rebounds, almost 2 assists, and over 2 steals. The efficiency was not great. 36% from the field, 18% from three. The efficiency was not good. But look at his summer league performance and look at his Vegas performance. He showed out, showed the athleticism that he has, showed the scoring ability. He looked a lot more comfortable as well, especially shooting the ball. Again, even though he didn't shoot the ball the most efficiently, one of his bigger weaknesses was his three-point shooting, I feel like, coming out of Arkansas. And he looked a lot more comfortable taking threes. And with this play, I really do believe he probably can be a rotational player next year for the Philadelphia 76ers. Also, credit to Jeff Dowtin. Jeff Dowtin, he got awarded with a two-way contract after his summer league performance as well. He was really good, but ultimately went with Ricky Council. For the Phoenix Suns, going with David Roddy. David Roddy, a third-year player out of Colorado State. I was a big fan of him coming out of the draft. And you can probably go back. The video's still on my channel where I thought David Roddy was going to be the future for the Grizzlies. He was going to take Dillon Brooks' spot really well. And then he got traded last year, and by advanced numbers, was one of the worst players in the NBA last season. So, yeah. But David Roddy had a really solid summer league. Led the team in scoring and rebounding. He averaged almost 15 points with over 6 rebounds with almost over 2 assists. Shooting 45% from the field, 36% from three. I really like David Roddy. I think David Roddy could be very solid. I don't know what his future is going to look like. He's probably just going to be a stuffed bench player on the Suns. But he's a solid ball handler. Gives it a lot of effort and heart defensively. A big body. He can throw him at the 4. He can rebound the ball really well. So we'll see what happens. For the Portland Trailblazers, going with Donovan Clingan. He made all Summer League team. Now, his scoring and offensive numbers maybe didn't look great. He only averaged 9 points per game. But he led the entire Summer League in rebounding with over 12 per game and averaged over 4 blocks per game with 2 assists as well. Honestly, I think if you take away the first game where he didn't shoot the ball super well, he had a really, really good summer league. He was rebounding the ball very well, looked like a man amongst boys in the paint, and being an interior menace, blocking shots, and he even showed some passing ability and showed the willingness to take the three ball. He only shot 23% from three, but showing the willingness to take a three ball, which maybe could be a part of his game in the future. But Clingan looked really, really good. All he really needs is just that scoring in the paint to get better. For the Kings, going with Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis kind of broke out on the scene last year with the Kings on a two-way contract, where at the end of the season he became a regular rotational player and even a starter at some point. And he carried that in the summer league and played very solid. He averaged over 12 points per game with 3 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and led the team with 2 blocks per game at 6'3" guard or whatever. Shot 40% from the field, 31% from three. Has some really nice moments. Is a really good defender. Obviously, 2 blocks per game as a guard. You got to be doing something right defensively. And then just being a more confident offensive player and three-point shooter. And with the way he ended last year and the way he came into Summer League this year, he's looking at, being a rotational player again this year for the Kings. For the Spurs, now, I wanted to put Stephon Castle, but he only played 1 game in Vegas. And because I didn't put Brandon Miller and because the people I wanted to play multiple games, Stephon Castle unfortunately did not qualify, even though he played really well in Summer League in Salt Lake City and in Vegas. So really, it's Stephon Castle for the Spurs, but I'm going with Riley Minix. He averaged 12 points per game, shot 44% from the field, 50% from three. Got awarded with a training camp contract as well. So yeah, really good shooter. That's what he's gonna do. And yeah, shout out to Riley Minix, but really it was supposed to be Stephon Castle. For the Raptors, going with Javon Freeman Liberty. Freeman Liberty was one of the better players last year's Summer League with the Chicago Bulls, got awarded with a contract, a two-way contract, and then a regular contract by the Raptors at the end of the year. And now this Summer League, he played really solid as well, led the team in scoring, averaging over 14 points per game. He didn't shoot the ball super efficiently, and he actually just got waived yesterday or the day before, which is unfortunate because I really think he's a really solid player. I really do, and I think he probably will get awarded with another two-way contract somewhere else. For the Utah Jazz, Kyle Filipowski. Filipowski was an early second-round pick after being a projected first-round pick, but he fell to the Utah Jazz, and he had a really good summer league. Led the team in scoring, averaging almost 16.5 points per game, with almost 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, shooting 45% from the field, 38% from three. He has some really nice moments. With the spacing, he looked a lot better. With his ball handling ability, his scoring in the paint, his pick and pop ability, just really, really good. The Jazz ultimately, in general, had a fun summer league. Him, as a Chloe had some moments. Cody Williams showed some things. Keontae George didn't play in Vegas, but in Salt Lake City, he was absolutely phenomenal. And Kyle Filipowski, I made a video after the draft talking about 5 second-round picks that will be steals, and I named Kyle Filipowski because I think system I think can really fit in right, and he showed it in summer league. And finally, for the Washington Wizards, going with Bub Carrington, another All-Summer League team member. Bub Carrington was a 14th overall pick out of Pittsburgh, and he played very, very well in the Summer League, lead the team in scoring and assists. He averaged almost 16 points with 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Didn't shoot the ball super, super efficiently, but I liked the way he played. I liked the shots he was taking. Coming out of Pittsburgh, he wasn't a guy that was a high-volume three-point shooter. He liked to get more into the mid-range. But in Summer League, he took a lot more three-pointers because that's what he's have to do in the NBA, and he looked a lot confident taking that. Rebounding, averaging 7 rebounds per game for a guard is amazing. He was playmaking for others, and when the team needed a bucket, he was going to get a bucket. So I think Bub Carrington opened a lot of eyes in Summer League that he's going to be really good. Unfortunately, we didn't see Alex Sarr play very well. He had a not great Summer League. But, it's Summer League at the end of the day. It matters, but it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, if you do good, that's good. But if you do bad, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But yeah. That's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, do also like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.